boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. I don't know how many times I've said it on this channel, but I'm going to say it once again. I am a DC fanboy, so I like to talk about rumors and all of that kind of exciting things that might get me a little tingly and get me a little warm fuzzy on the future of the DC universe out there over there at Warner Brothers Discovery. And one of those characters that I've always really enjoyed, especially when you go to watch back and watch Justice League Unlimited, was the Question. The Question is always one of the funnest characters that shows up. He's very mysterious. He's very enigmatic. He literally drives other characters absolutely insane with the way he talks, and I think it's an absolutely fun and incredible character. Well, boys and girls, with all the kind of crazy projects that are being teased over there at DCU, this is a rumor. Mind you, this is a rumor, but this is from a rumor source that has been very reliable, at least in recent past. They've been pretty accurate, so apparently they might have somebody inside of Warner Brothers over there talking about all this kind of stuff. But as is always, this is a fair disclaimer warning. Take this with a grain of salt. It is a rumor, but we also know in the past that a lot of these companies out there will leak these rumors to the public to see what kind of excitement there is around this kind of projects and if it's actually a good idea to kind of greenlit it. And boys and girls, as a guy that's a fan favorite of The Question out there, and I absolutely think this would work out so very well as an HBO kind of serial drama series out there, I think this is a great idea. And so guess what? Warner Brothers, I hope you're listening, because this common nerd would absolutely love a series of The Question if you do it properly. And after what you've done with Penguin, I don't think The Question is out of your wheelhouse in any way, shape, or form. So we've got this lovely little article over here from comicbookmovie.com. The Question live action series rumored to be in early development at DC Studios. Like I said, early development. This could just be something they're kind of teasing out there and all of this other kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, that's how this kind of thing works. And you know what? If nothing else, it's fun to report on the rumors, because if nothing else, you guys will probably have some great memories of your time with The Question, whether it be in the comic books, whether it be in the animated series, or the other versions of him that have been out there in the world. And at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with talking about The Question. He's a great character. He's a wonderful guy, and he should be promoted and remembered more anyway. So we're going to check out this article and get into all of the juicy details. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Do you enjoy The Question? Is it a character that you know a lot about? Is it somebody that you've never heard of before, but hey, you look into a little bit of it, maybe you'll like the idea of it turning into a serial kind of crime drama, kind of like detective story. You get kind of like the weekly gumshoe kind of thing out there, which is exactly what would be a perfect way to do with The Question. Let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. And also, if you'd like to support the channel, please check the links in the description as well. Alrighty, boys and girls. So from Mark Cassidy over at comicbookmovie.com. We don't have a lot to go on, but a new rumor is claiming that DC Studios is in the early stages of development on a live action series based on The Question. Ooh. There are quite a few projects currently in various stages of development at DC Studios, but James Gunn recently made it clear that not everything revealed during the initial DCU's Gods and Monsters slate announcement is guaranteed to move forward. Obviously, they have to see how the success of their first initial projects out there are going to go on. With this in mind, it's best not to put too much stock in the following just yet, although the source has proven to be very reliable of late. And I know some groups out there and some organizations and some channels will completely and totally avoid rumors. They don't like them. They don't like talking about them. But at the end of the day, when we've seen this kind of go on and happen in the past, and from my own personal track record of reporting on some of these rumors from reliable sources like Sil Abdul, I mean, we knew Superman, Henry Cavill, was going to be back in the Black Adam movie, like all the way, like months and months back, and people were like, oh, yeah, whatever. They waited for the Instagram reveal, where all of the rest of us had known this for months because we trust these reliable sources that have been right in the past. WW Pro is a great example of that. He's got an incredible, like 98% track record accuracy. That's why we report on this kind of stuff, because we want you ahead of the curve. And so the Question is a character that excites you, then let your voices known. Share these videos out on your social media platforms. Get Question and freaking trending out there on, you know, all of your social media platforms, whether it be X or Twitter or whatever it is out there. Like, this is the kind of stuff that you shows that the fans, because they are listening to the fans now more than they ever have before, because they've realized listening to the screaming little acolytes of the cult out there has blown up in their faces and cost them billions of dollars. It's one of the reasons why Warner Brothers found itself in the situation it was in, and now they have the chance to actually pay attention to the fans and do good quality work going forward. All you have to do as a fan is make your voice heard. I promise they really are seeming to listen now, or at least they understand that the direction they were going was not working in any way, shape, or form. So according to Nexus Point News, Apocalyptic Horseman, a live-action series based on the question, is in the works. He clarifies that nothing has been greenlit and the project is only in the very early stages. This isn't the first time we've heard about a possible question show. Rumors circled quite a bit back in the DCEU days, but the closest we've come to any kind of confirmation since Peter Safran and James Gunn took over co-heads of DC Studios is the latter liking a social media post wondering if there are any plans to introduce the character. And that at least means that he likes the idea of it anyway. You know, generally these guys don't put anything out there without being very precise about what they're doing on social media. These guys, especially people like James Gunn, they know exactly what they're doing with their social media, okay? They use it, the power, the way it's supposed to be used properly. They don't do anything without it being a calculated idea. That at least means he's not completely and totally objecting to the idea out there. And honestly, like I said, after the success of Penguin, this is something that is definitely within like that HBO kind of wheelhouse that they could do a really good job with something like that. Who is the question? If you don't know, here's a quick little history. The question was created by Steve Ditko, absolute legend, and was introduced as a Charlton's comic character in the pages of Blue Beetle #1 back in the late 60s. And the original question was an investigative reporter named Vic Sage who donned his faceless mask and blue suit and tied to operate as a vigilante in Hub City. When Alan Moore and Dave Gibsons were prevented from using Charlton's character for Watchmen, the question became their inspiration for Rorschach. Later in the New 52 continuity, the question mantle was taken up by alcoholic ex-cop Rainey Montoya, the Sage taking on the role of a mentor before succumbing to lung cancer. Though Sage would ultimately reassume the identity in the DC Rebirth era, Montoya still operated as the crime fighter and has gone on to become a very popular character. Sage made a few memorable appearances in Justice League Unlimited series, which is probably where a lot of us know him from. Rosie Perez played Montoya in Birds of Prey, which, yeah, I don't think any of us saw that one, because that one turned into a disastrous dumpster fire. Remember when I was talking earlier about the things that Warner Brothers did that were going down the DEI path and didn't work? Yeah, Birds of Prey was the exact one of that. I mean, they literally changed the name to add Harley Quinn into it because everybody went Birds of Prey and went, who? What? Needless to say, that movie cost them hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office. And of course, in that version, they didn't actually include the question's original costume, so nobody really absolutely known in any way, shape, or form. So I like this idea. I like this rumor. It might just be DC testing the waters, leaking this out to somebody to see if people like the idea. Somebody might have come to them with an idea already in hand right now, and they're like, hey, you know what? Let's leak this out to a few of our insiders out there and let's test the waters and let's see how things go, because that is very much a marketing tactic that Hollywood has used for decades. At the end of the day, do we know if this question thing will ever come to fruition? No, not at all. It's strictly a rumor, but it's fun to talk about, and I absolutely love the question. And for anybody out there that doesn't know the question, I highly recommend go checking out the Justice League Unlimited series out there, which you highly get on physical media. Always get your physical media out there. It's a lot of fun. It's a great series. There's a lot of great episodes with the question. He's a very enigmatic character. It's funny as all hell if you like the kind of dry kind of sense of humor, the kind of characters that kind of like, just because they're being stoic and they're just being kind of logical the way they are, kind of irritates the more fun, friendly, kind of flamboyant kind of guys in the series. It's absolutely hilarious. It's a lot of fun. So go check out the question. At the end of the day, boys and girls, this is fun. This is exciting to talk about, and I actually am still cautiously optimistic for the future of DCU. Hashtag sell Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix, but at the end of the day, I am a DC fanboy and I want to see these characters done right. And as of right now, HBO has been showing us that they can indeed do a serial drama that's grounded in a street level kind of character, and that's exactly what the question is, and I think they could be very successful. So do the right thing, James Gunn. Listen to the fans and give us a good quality question series, because hey, that's exactly what we deserve.